Hello and welcome to episode 190 of the Foundry Roundtable, where as of this moment we are all dead. We do this podcast to reclaim our lives. I am first, Drogan1701. With me is second, Greendragoon.
I just want for the record to know that we all died by our own hands.
And third, Markhawkman.
Hey.
And 2,387th, DuncanIdaho.
Oh. Oh, come on. I was 19th on our first run. How do I... okay. Work my way up the chain of command. I bet there's just several thousand guinea pigs, and those are just the rest of our unit.
Just think of it like your odometer, where if you get high enough, it just rolls over.
I got super promoted. Yay.
Yeah, but you remember what number odometers roll over at, right?
Yeah, we got to add a lot more zeros before you roll back to first. So, yeah, as you can tell, we're in a Jem'hadar frame of mind because they just released, or just unlocked, I guess. They've been patching over the process of a couple of days here. The new build for Tribble, which includes creation of Jem'hadar characters for people to test out. I'll say up front that it also includes 2 of the story missions, which we will not be playing tonight because we want folks to experience that for themselves. We might play them after Victory is Life launches, so that a way to pass the downtime, because we assume there will be some.
Yeah,
there's lots of other cool stuff that we can show you, including some of the Jem'hadar customization and some updates to DS9, stuff in the Gamma Quadrant. So yeah, we're going to take a nice tour of Tribble. And currently, 2 of our guys are patching, but before we do that,
96%. But yeah,
they're getting close.
55.
While we're finishing up, we can take a look at the Jem'hadar customization options.
All right, so Dragoon, you're the cameraman.
Yeah. And just before I go, notice we found Jake and Nog's spot.
We did.
Hey!
The main stuff for Deep Space Nine is from the exterior, because they got an awesome new model. But for the interior, they've added banners and they've tweaked the lighting. I'm not 100% sure what all of it is, but it really looks good.
Also, Drogan appears to have become a Jem'hadar.
Yes, I have completed the Jem'hadar mission. After character creation, it launches you right into the first mission. And I have, in fact, completed it. So I can run around the game world as a Jem'hadar.
Did you guys look to see if that admiral is still standing outside on the hull?
I will do that now.
In the meantime, at least on Tribble, we can now create Jem'hadar. Obviously, there is only one species and gender for
so far, anyways.
There will be 2 for the species options, Jem'hadar and Vanguard Jem'hadar. The difference is that the Vanguard Jem'hadar gets a fancy crest.
And a fancy trait.
Well,
also,
it's a slightly fancier trait, so it's one of those things where it can work out if you're really going to, go for that one trait. But at the same time, it's if you do custom traits a whole lot, it doesn't matter as much. So veteran players probably are going to get a little bit less out of it than introductory ones.
It's still better than the other one.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, it's unfortunately,
it's a decent trait. You might want it.
Also, I noticed something on that screen where you were choosing your species and gender that caught my attention. Namely, that there was a vortex staring at you while you created your character.
Well, if it's a Jem'hadar, isn't there always a vortex staring at you? All right, so we've got 3 head options. Not super different, mostly just slight differences in the face itself. And then we got 3 scale options. It's mostly least scaly to most scaly. I wonder if Jem'hadar gets scalier as they get older.
Well, if you look at the versions in the Foundry and the progression from ensign to captain level Jem'hadar, they do grow longer spikes.
Next up, you got your choice of spikes. Do the two options that are kind of labeled cranium, which kind of adds some extra flares on top of the head.
I was hoping for more spikes. Because,
Uh,
I mean, there's a lot of range in the spikes, but they're not too exaggerated, so that's just a little like,
Yeah,
it's not like Kurukan where it's
has like
just
6-inch
completely
spikes.
like, yeah.
Yeah, what I'm going to say here, I'm slightly disappointed in this looking at the first time, simply because none of this is really that, like, they've got some good ones for the header attachment organic, some pretty interesting options. I like Jem'hadar Cranium 1 is pretty cool. But for the face spikes, it's like, honestly, if I was seeing two of these characters in the Foundry, I would not, like, it's where the personality is going to come in is going to be the forehead and a little bit with a hairstyle, but because that's so relegated and not too much.
I'll be honest. I mean, the Jem'hadar were not that varied. They had a few variations, but they weren't super varied, and it's already looking like Cryptic is taking quite a few liberties to get some extra options in here.
Mainly with
that is true, because since there were so many Jem'hadar seen in certain scenes, they literally mass-produced their face prosthetics. So you would the only differences between two Jem'hadar characters would be the natural contour of the actor's face.
We've kind of been through this though with some other species. There's some that don't have that much variation, but at the same time, Cryptic's done more to add that, like Regillians, for example. And just a lot of these aliens of the week, you can go a lot more just in the fact that you're treating this as a video game and you're doing this in a much later date than 30 years on, genetically engineered species. Yeah, I'm going to say Cryptic could have done a lot more with the creative liberty side with just creating some new features rather than things that you're almost hard-pressed to tell them from something that's directly seen on screen that you just didn't notice in a
Now, we should point out that this may change. They may add more options.
Yeah, but like this close to Victory's Life, and there is a pretty robust set with the number of options. I mean, it's much more than, say, we got for the Xindi officers. So I think this is probably pretty representative.
Yeah, but Xindi aren't playable.
No, but I'm just saying in terms of how much we're actually getting for the species option.
Well,
so, I mean, or comparable to, say, the Talaxian customization options that are unique to them, or the Telerai customization options. This is pretty much on par with that. So I don't think this is dissimilar. It's just a little disappointing that we're staying pretty close to on-screen canon, when I'm just like, I'm starting to get a little bit tired of that with the last couple of expansions, where it's just like, if we can't do new things, I mean, that's kind of the point of doing the whole...
There's been a lot of pressure for Cryptic to
poster boy for disappointing level of customization. Go make a Lethean player character.
Or Gorn. Gorn have far less options.
Gorn actually have a decent number of options.
You can do
Lethians, you basically change their skin color and whether or not they have spikes sticking out of their face.
You've also got a lot more with head pattern, though. So there's a lot of combinations you can do with that. Where this, you don't have those head patterns. So you don't have that that to add on to that. So I can do more with Lethians to sort of vary up the facial characteristics. So it's just Jem'hadar. It's like, I mean, it's great for the fact that these look like Jem'hadar from the show. But at the same time, not the best use of the creative opportunity, I think. We could do more. We could do more. Especially especially with Vanguard, where it's like, hey, new species of Jem'hadar, go nuts.
Honestly, I think with
Giant
the Lethians
spikes.
and the Nausicaans, since they only had like 2 or 3 different times they were ever seen on screen, and they looked essentially the same every single time, they just made something that looked exactly like that and stuck it in the game. But again, this was part of the pre-launch rush, and they just haven't had an opportunity to go back and update it.
I like this combo, though. Jem'hadar Cranium 2 with Jem'hadar jaw spikes 5. I think that's a good look.
But you can customize the color of your Quadro-Tribble white tube.
Oh, really?
I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. And I think for this particular species, it makes sense not to go overboard with crazy customization. I think that's just more of like a personal preference, and it's not something that I could sort of, come up with a really good argument for.
Also, they are stock soldiers, but like for me, it kind of cuts a little both ways. Where they are stock soldiers, they are artificial. There's not natural biological variation going on with these guys. Mm-hmm. But just as well, you can make them anything you want. I mean, that also includes uniform, so it's more or less a creative decision. For me, though, with these types of things, I've gone through this before with creating my own, basically stock cannon fodder, and I always try to add a little bit more range of variation, like the Synthics in AEI, where they are kind of fulfilling the same role, and in some respects, you almost can consider them the distant evolutionary product of things like the Jem'hadar, or kind of combined with holograms. But there is a lot you can do with the design. And so I've created wildly different Synthics for different episodes to show that evolution. So you can go through and add a lot more to that. So for the visual design, for me, it's... there's going to be a few that I'm going to settle on, like, hey, that looks pretty good. But I think you're going to have to work pretty hard if you want to create a Jem'hadar character in the Foundry that stands out, that you can recognize as a consistent character.
I feel the need to point out at this point that we do know that there will be additional tailor customization options for the Vanguard Jem'hadar.
There's only one confirmed piece, and it's an additional forehead crest.
Now, there is a uniform that you can get that's obviously not the standard Dominion uniform with the Vanguard pack.
Yeah, that'll also be available in the C-Store as well.
Mm-hmm. And actually, Dragoon, if you can set me up for costume or for screen share, I can show you all the costume you get when you ally with the Federation. Because, of course, like the Romulans, will ally with one or the other.
I like it that we can use the basic shirt and pants setup, just because there will be people who don't like the idea of having a character walking around wearing a giant metal backpack all the time.
All right, Dragon, if you want to share.
I like it.
Now, if I also had to guess, I would bet that Jem'hadar will be able to use costumes from the Lobi store.
Maybe also some C-Store ones, like the Intel uniform, but I don't know if they've
potentially
that yet.
I just thought of something that I wonder if the devs have realized this, is that okay, it's also true of TOS characters, but TOS characters in Jem'hadar will not have access to the Kobali uniforms because those were a limited time featured episode reward.
Which would be great to add in the Phoenix box next time you guys do a pass on that cryptic.
Certainly would. Okay, there we go.
Why does everything look white?
A slight bug with the tailor here. I don't know why the background is white.
Here, close the Skype window too. The little Skype box.
Yeah, there we go.
You know what? The white backdrop may actually be an unfinished part of the Dominion UI.
It's entirely possible. But in any case, this is the uniform that you can get when you ally with the Federation.
I like that.
That is a pretty cool outfit.
That changes color. This changes color.
It's a lot like the
this little stripe,
like the Sierra style of Federation uniform, except the shape is more like the way that the Dominion has their stuff.
You do get a little badge, and you can have a Dominion one, or you can have a Starfleet Dominion one.
Which is a Starfleet chevron stuck to the Dominion logo, which is awesome.
I love that they took the time to make these uniform variations. I would not have, if you'd asked me, I would not have said I thought they would do this.
This guy really likes pastels.
He's a kinder, gentler Jem'hadar.
Well, yeah, of course.
And over here, we add a happy little landmine.
I'm gonna have to make one request for Jem'hadar, if it's possible, in the customizations. Tattoos. These guys don't have face tattoos.
That would be nice to have.
I'm not sure.
Or at the very least in Foundry, because for me, I kind of want that, because that's kind of essential to a character I'm making, and I really thought they'd have tattoo options, because they've had them for everything else. Okay,
I'd say pass along the request. It seems like it might be a reasonable request.
Yeah, because that one is just the that would add a lot more to being able to make them sort of more individually identifiable, and also showing different cultural influences too.
Kind of think of the clones from the Star Wars, Clone Wars, where they have like they're all essentially the same person, except they find little ways to differentiate themselves.
Yeah.
Is there an option for adding like weird looking scars and stuff?
No, that's the scars and tattoos thing, and
we just don't have that box at all. Okay.
No, that's just completely gone.
I think that would be a good addition, and then it would be a good way to differentiate them further without like breaking any sort of canon.
The one thing is, I know like Cryptic has stated that they're sometimes limited with their texture options. So depending on how they're actually creating the look of the Jem'hadar, they may not actually be able to add more texture layers, because they may be using them all ready for the skin types here. So we can suggest that, but I'm thinking like, yeah, it might not be possible, but yeah, it won't hurt to ask. And let's see, I'm starting to get a little bit more into the customization options here. Spikies.
A lot of your changes between Jem'hadar characters will be pretty subtle, you know. And I think that's just sort of the nature of this species. What I was thinking for the characters that I'm going to create is, you know, kind of make them like a part of a military unit and give them their own special uniform.
Haryant's guessing that it might be due to the spikes having the same costume layer as the scars and tattoos.
I never know.
I mean, they seem like
they're attachments.
Yeah,
we've seen weird things like this before, because certain costume parts disappear when you use a Rycian floater.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where we can just say, hey, Cryptic is possible, and if it's no, it's like, hey, okay. But yeah, I think if you're going to be working with these in the Foundry, I think the place you're going to have to spend a lot of time with Jem'hadar characters is the face sliders, because that's where you're going to have to do a lot of work to try to get individually recognizable Jem'hadar.
Ooh, and you have multiple tube shape options. That's neat.
Now, one thing that also leads me to believe that there's probably going to be some more options added is there's no option to get the little monitor, you know, that hooks into your eyes instead of a view screen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't Karukhan wear one of those headset things?
That also
usually it's the Vorta wearing them.
Yeah, actually, so you don't have that. One thing you could test, go to Ryza. Well, actually, you would need to get a bit of Latinum for this, but I actually don't know if it's available, because you could go for sunglasses. You get one of those packs where you can open up those sunglasses, and then if that might just unlock some of those options, but I just don't know if they'll have the.
The other thing that I was thinking of was the possibility of looking to see if any of your Tribble characters had any Lolunats. Oh wait, you would have to unlock the Lolunat store on your Jem'hadar
which you can't do right now.
Well, you could use it on a separate character. Just do all the buying, and then just put the put the the various bits into your account bank if you've got access to that.
Yeah, not all of the parts are things that bind a character.
I've got a good Jem'hadar here. I'd be happy with this as my I'd be happy working with this. It's like if I got the tail, like if we got the tattoo options, that'd be fantastic for the story I'm working on right now. I've got a alien Jem'hadar mock-up right now in that Foundry project, but this is what I was
this is wild. It's like a bunch of people just like walking back and forth in a really short line.
That's probably like the various background crowd for like the hallway, but now they're
crap. I see what it is that they're walking over to the door, stopping and turning around instead of walking out the door. It looks like a pathic bug. They're acting like the door is closed.
Yeah.
Strange.
Okay, yeah. Actually, yeah, this Jem'hadar look I could totally get down with.
Would you like to share with the class?
Yeah, if I can do screen share, and here we go. Share screens.
So inevitably, even with the new,
there we go.
Even with the new DS9 layout, I'm still running around the entire thing just to find the one thing I'm looking for.
So yeah, I mean, for this is just doing a little bit of light slider work. Trying to get the colors to be complementary. But yeah, this is probably what I would go with for a unique Jem'hadar character. But you're gonna have to do a lot with accessories, and if we get this in the Foundry, and just do a lot with the sliders to try to sort of work around.
Be exaggerated with your sliders.
Yeah, to work around just how uniform a lot of the or not necessarily how uniform, but just indistinct some of these options are. Like the foreheads, we got some good ones. It's just the mouth accessories. Sound like it's just the placement of the spikes is the biggest one. There's a little bit with the length, but they're all basically spiky. And the colors too don't lend a whole lot because they do fall under pretty similar palette. So this is one where for costume work you're gonna have to be very cognizant, but I still think you could do some good stuff. I just wish Cryptic would just do a little bit more with the just making it original, some original species options.
Well,
now
now's
one
a
of the
good
other
time
things is that
to start a thread.
Yeah, there is also a Jem'hadar Reputation or Gamma Quadrant Reputation coming out that has armor for it, and the concept art looks quite Jem'hadar-ish. And that, those pieces could definitely aid in creating unique costumes.
Yeah, and also just previous reputation sets too, since those will also be available.
I wonder how similar that is to the old Lobi store costume.
The basic Jem'hadar costume that you get has all the stuff from the old Lobi costume, including the little armor pieces.
Yes! Sir Digby Chicken Caesar is totally permissible.
Yeah, so you get that by default. You also get by default a bug ship.
Yes.
T5.
T5U, isn't it?
T5U, yes, by default, for free. It apparently, though, it does not unlock the frigate pets if you have the Dreadnought.
It's a different variant.
Yeah.
That's one of the things they discussed last week on their weekly live stream, is that it's like slightly different than the old bug ship.
Oh, I'm most disappointed here for Jem'hadar. Just with the hairstyle, it works for the Jem'hadar, but it's slightly disappointing that we don't have that full color palette available, because then we couldn't do pink-haired Jem'hadar.
In fairness, all you ever saw on the show was black.
But that also holds true for Romulans as well.
Well, there actually was one person on the TV show who was a Romulan who didn't have black hair.
But we never saw any Romulans with green hair, blue hair, all that variation. And that's, again, sort of the wonderful thing in Still, where you can just do new things.
The real world explanation is that the actors were sharing the same set of wigs, and that they were actually just wearing a set of wigs that were styled to look that way, because they had a very specific look to the Romulan hair.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's very possible, if we can get them to listen to this feedback, that they'll open up the color palette. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing I'll say here for the color palette is that I think it does have the top brown row. I don't think that one is not available on the standard palette. And the bottom black row is, but it's just one of those things where if they opened it up a little bit, I mean, it would sort of be more stoish rather than necessarily just. I don't want like. It almost feels like they're kind of being a little bit more slavish to the TV series for this one. Where it's good that they're doing.
It's funny. It's funny that you say that because I got into an argument on Reddit with a guy who says that they weren't being slavish enough. Mainly because they weren't offering Vorta as a playable species.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there's story reasons for that.
They did kind of say they were planning on doing an LTS race, although they didn't really say what. Or maybe it was one of those things where they're thinking about doing an LTS.
I think they said at some point they were considering it.
Yeah, and that could easily fall as Borg assimilated Jem'hadar. So I think that would be like the easiest mix.
That would be good, honestly. It really would.
Yeah, I mean, PAX has shown how sort of that can work for a Jem'hadar character.
Also, we've seen a Jem'hadar liberated Borg in the Foundry as one of the default NPC contacts.
It was a boss in one of the missions. I think it was the State of the Queue.
Oh, also, that reminds me, there's a liberated Borg Vorta as one of the NPC contacts, too. Although this one is categorized as being part of the cooperative.
So let's move on. Let's take a look at the exterior of Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
I just had a flashback to Power Rangers for a minute because this is my Jem'hadar is very Triceratops-ish. Actually, no, Pachycephalosaurus. I mean, that's a better one.
Well, one of the things we did at STLV was there was a panel where Michael Westmore talked about the various aliens he designed, and he said he always had a real-world inspiration for each of the new aliens that he designed. I mean, I can't remember exactly what he said for Jem'hadar, but certainly something reptilian.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically herbivorous dinosaur. In the
the dinosaurs with spikes. Ooh, yeah, ankylosaurs. Ankylosaurs had that row of spikes around their shell.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Certainly could be.
But yeah, I mean, like, there's some good looks here. Yeah, if you really try, you can get something good. And then you just got the two palettes. I think opening up the color palettes is probably, and then adding scar options would probably be the two most immediate ways of opening these guys up. I think more skin tones and then more hair colors, and then tattoos and scars if that's possible. And then I think Jem'hadar will be in pretty good shape for Victory's Life.
So here's the exterior model of Deep Space Nine that was created by a guy named Tobias Richter, who that's a name I first encountered way back when, because he was modding, or at least somebody was using his models anyway, for Starfleet Command 2. It's back, like 15 years ago. Which is pretty awesome because I always thought Stowe was kind of a spiritual successor to Starfleet Command because the starship combat's very similar.
Well, I mean, it's one of those form follows function things,
But we got, it's much more detailed. I mean, we have a
lot more customization options, that's for sure.
I mean the Deep Space Nine model.
Oh, that, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's just incredibly detailed. You can get right up close to it. It is still sized up from what you see in the show.
Mostly so you can fly around through it.
Again, as people have pointed out on multiple occasions, there were several different scales it was shown at in the TV show, some of which were a lot larger than others. Some of which were actually pretty small for a space station in the Star Trek universe in general, which is why I think that they were kind of dumb to scale at that size at all. And as people have pointed out, also, special effects people didn't spend a whole lot of time paying attention to what size it was supposed to be.
Well, the reason that they've always told us is that why Deep Space Nine is so much larger in this game is because they originally had it as close to the quote canon size as they could, And testers thought it was too small.
Well, I mean, it just looked. If I remember right, the original the original size it was modeled at in Stowe was only a little bit bigger than a Galaxy class starship. Which
I mean, it was a bit bigger because you saw the Enterprise docked at the upper pylons, and it didn't completely dwarf the Enterprise, but it was bigger. Whereas, if you were to dock a Galaxy class up here at one of these pylons, it would look quite small.
One thing I do want to add real quick to our list of suggestions for the Jem'hadar, mouth corner position slider settings increase the range of that.
Oh, I just noticed something that's very useful for size comparison with this one is that someone parked at the Deridex next to the docking ring. That makes a very good size comparison.
Actually, so a lot of these ships are actually NPC ships that you see around here, and they're supposed to, I think, be moving around, but I don't know if that's all hooked up yet.
Oh, so the Deridex is an NPC? Makes sense, I guess.
The Deridex is there, and then there's also, you see there's a Negus class here, which is Rom's flagship, which you can actually hail.
Nice. I wonder if that Jem'hadar cruiser flying around belongs to Aeron.
If you see the ships moving, I think those are player ships.
Oh, well, yeah, that one just warped out, so I guess so.
But eventually all these ships will be sort of patrolling around and look like, normal traffic.
Remember the old docking ports used to be
just noticed
little pegs
that's very
out.
interesting that I'm curious about and that I don't understand. When you first go into the character creator, you look at the things that say engineering, science, or tactical. They created special branch icons specifically for the Jem'hadar.
Yeah, they did that for the Romulans and Klingons too.
Yeah, it's just that these are. It's one of those things where the Klingon one is basically just the Klingon Empire logo in different colors. The Romulan one, it has a symbol in the middle of it that's not particularly large. But this one, it's the Dominion diamond shape with some sort of logo in the middle of it. That sits on top of where you would normally have that little square thing inside the diamond. Interesting.
So, Dragoon, if you come over to where I am, just basically straight ahead of you, there is one of the new Cardassian ships over here.
Yes, which is specifically Garrick's ship.
Yes. I believe it is also one of the ones that will be playable, that's in the big pack.
Hang on, I can actually see Garrick's ship.
So it looks quite cool. Okay, well then I will...
So I think it's a case of it's phasing. This character I don't think has played the right missions yet. So, because I was running through it earlier on Starbuck, and he could see Garrick's ship, so I know what you're talking about. But
yeah, interesting.
Primus says he's not there if you haven't played the missions.
Yeah, I don't see Rom's ship
about
either.
This last time because on the interior map there was that section that's basically sort of like the gem.
Oh yeah, Loris's little embassy thingy.
Did we lose Dragon?
Yeah, I was wondering about that. It suddenly got quiet. I was like, wait, did my internet die? No.
Oh, maybe.
I'm just getting into Deep Space Nine, but since its character recently transferred over to Tribble, I've got to change all my settings.
Hey, this is interesting. There's actually a little pop-up warning that telling you that Jem'hadars aren't for newbies and that you should only play one if you actually know what you're doing. I only got it when I cycled through the race options because it started with Dominion. I had to cycle to other things and then go back to Dominion.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, yes, it can.
Okay, that was odd. It just dropped the call for no reason.
Bummer.
Or mysteries of Skype.
I hate them.
All right, so I think, well, let's see. The next thing we were going to do is we were going to head to the Gamma Quadrant.
But I just got here. I want to see the news station.
Let me form a team here.
Next.
I will say one thing I'm kind of disappointed with is that we don't actually like fly through the wormhole from the D Space Nine map. We have to go out to sector space.
I have to say, I do like the variety of face options that you have for Jem'hadar among the presets.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job with those.
Now, why don't I see you on my... Are you logged in, Mark?
I'm staring at the character creation screen.
Up into game on another.
Hold on a second. I'm almost done. Just need to do one last tweak.
Yeah, but if you create a Jem'hadar, you're going to have to go through the tutorial.
Oh, there's an option for none on NeckTube. I like that one. Oh.
Still messing with my tray. It's not the way I like it.
Yeah, I'm just realizing mine's all messed up.
Ooh, they did hook up a proper random number or random name generator for the Jem'hadar. That is cool.
Actually, that's a good thing to talk about is the naming schemes for the Jem'hadar and their ships.
Here, I'll just read off a few of them. Gemotora, Ixmekak Usan, Talet Ikat, Ixarara Clan, Imo Ukan, Ixmeket Torax, Durara Ika. Isn't it cool?
Yeah, I went through the random ship generator, and the name mine landed on that I liked was Ardent 26787.
Yeah, I think I had something similar.
When you look at the Jem'hadar ship names, you're like, oh, lame alphanumeric things. And then you click it a few times, you realize, well, while they're alphanumeric, they're not just numbers. Like batch 90-IJ-Juliet or JH-88284-H or batch 85-SB-Delta.
Yeah, just kind of selling the idea that they're all kind of mass produced.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now mine, also I should mention before we do anything else, let's see. So I went through the tutorial and created this Jem'hadar. So it gave me, this is an engineer, it gave me Omega and Nukara rep at T5. But nothing else. And let's see, it gave me traits. It gave me a starship trait. It says improved going the extra mile.
I think that was something special to the Jem'hadar, isn't it?
I'm not sure quite what that's from.
Going the extra mile?
That's actually from Miracle Worker, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a Miracle Worker.
Okay,
trait.
yeah, because it did give me Miracle Worker.
Oh, that's right. He mentioned that it's
Command
not just
as a secondary.
It's not just spec and stuff. That you actually get like certain things that are from having maxed out other stuff too.
Yeah, so
it gave me my specialization. So
yeah.
And that'll be different if you choose a science and a tech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I thought was a really neat touch, that they're actually paying real close attention to your profession and trying to adjust it accordingly, because that, I think, will help make even just different Jem'hadar playthroughs feel a little bit more distinct from each other, because you'll have different resources starting off.
Let's see, what gear do you start out with? Yeah, you start out with a Mark 12 purple version of the Jem'hadar's ground gear set from the featured episode series.
So take wormhole into Gamma Quadrant.
Yes.
Yep.
Ooh, you get a Mark 12 purple version of the Polaron beam pistol too. That's neat. I don't see a Cartaken polearm though, unfortunately.
Okay,
Right,
so
we're in the Gamma Quadrant. What we got here? When you open up the map, there's a little thing that says Battle Zone Progress up at the left.
there we go. I was looking for that. And there's nothing right now.
The Herc are mounting a massive assault on the Founder's homeworld. Join the fight and earn greater rewards as you defeat each Herc wave.
Yeah.
Where is the Founder's homeworld?
Here's the thing. I think this is still bugged where it's not resetting. So there's no progress right now. There alert Ancient Dominion Station. Yeah, there's nothing right now. If you open up the map, there should be indicators for what's going on with the battle zone. The battle zone does not appear to be functional right now.
This is interesting. Did you guys look at the names of all the Jem'hadar ranks in the game?
No.
Because if you click at the little experience bar at the top of the screen, you can actually read through the entire list of Jem'hadar ranks. Even though you start at 60, they did actually program in all of the like first, second, and third stuff. You don't get promoted to a first until you get to level 30. Then it goes from Master First, Senior First, Elite First, Revered First, Honored First, which is 60.
And your bridge officers do go from 5th through 2nd, rather than Ensign through Commander.
Cool. Oh, and you actually start out with a Temporal Bridge Officer, an Intel, a Miracle Worker, and a Command Officer. No pilot.
Well, maybe if you start with a particular profession, it gives you a pilot one instead.
Well, I started as an engineer. Oh, I found a thing that's not finished yet, I think. The little thumbnail picture in my character for the ship I'm using shows what appears to be a Constitution-class ship.
Yep.
Yeah, some of that art is not quite in yet.
Yeah, it looks unfinished.
So I see one queue. Maybe we can play that.
Okay, just a second. Okay,
Wow.
so the battle zone doesn't appear to be hooked up right now, but we do have the swarm. So yeah, we can just do that.
It looks like we can queue for this Founder's Homeworld assault if it actually pops.
Well, we just did the
I'm gonna
swarm.
guess it probably won't.
Yeah. So right now the Gamma Quadrant marks is only for the swarm. Where do you see the?
There's an alert button down at the bottom right of your screen.
Oh yeah, like I click on that does nothing. So yeah, I'm just flat out battle zone isn't working right now.
We're queuing into something.
It's taking me somewhere.
We just queued up for the swarm.
I don't think that's where we are.
This
is saying final Herc assault on Empresa.
Okay, so we're not.
Hello, Loris.
It's Loris with Odo's voice.
He is a shapeshifter.
Obviously, this is Tribble and everything is not quite finished yet.
Yeah.
Wait a second. No way. I'm looking at the first of my bridge officers, and he actually has pilot, miracle worker, intel, command, and temporal operative abilities. And he's not the only one. Okay, so the four that start with specialization powers, at least what I'm seeing right now, they actually have all 4 special and command, intel, miracle worker, pilot. They actually start with all 5 specializations.
It provides some good versatility there because you never know which ship you're going to be using and who's got the specialization slot.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's if you got a ship with command spec, whether it's a science, tech, or engineer, you've got somebody ready for it.
Mm-hmm. And all of them have the Shroud ground trait.
Yeah, it's basically a personal cloak.
Mm-hmm. Wait a second, do I have that?
That's going to be great for ground PvP.
I don't have that.
Which is the only PvP I actually like, and the only one that nobody does.
I don't have the Shroud trait for ground. That's weird. Or is it part of my Jem'hadar species?
You should have a power for it on your...
Oh, I remember how that works now. If you have the Ketracel White buff, it gives you the ability to shroud in ground combat. That's right.
Let's say we're trying to get this mothership here, but it's immune to damage at the moment.
Oh, well, those little things highlighted with the arrows. What happens if you kill them?
The arrows point to the mothership itself.
There's a small asteroid crystal to its bottom left. Interact with that. There we go. So we got to track to that somewhere and
explode it. I don't know.
Oh, I see what's
over there.
Yeah.
Do you try and make it like hit the mothership?
Oh, reading the mission objectives probably would have been good.
Pshaw. Reading.
That is not the Foundry Roundtable way.
There we go. Oh, okay. So once you go by one of those asteroids, you do get a new prompt. It's going to be a special little menu that pops up where you can launch something that then damages the mothership.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see that. Yeah. Seeker bomb.
Mm-hmm. Once you got that seeker bomb, then you can use that to hit the mothership.
Now it's targetable, so maybe the NPCs might be able to shoot it down.
Possibly.
Oh, we got it.
Yep.
Gamma marks. Huzzah.
Good news. Technically, you're still alive.
NPCs don't despawn.
Ah, dang it. I blew myself up. I used the Omega Torpedo with this Scimitar, and I do high yield 3 with it to make it extra powerful. So if it detonates next to something, it usually kills me.
You mean you don't normally keep the hazard emitter skill available?
This is a one-shot kill. It's not just, I plasma myself. No, I've done so much damage that it just one-shots my ship.
Well, I think you are right, though, that the battle zone is still maybe not working as it's supposed to be, because it's certainly not resetting.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I shooting a bunch of Romulans? Never mind.
One quick thing, do not narrate your playthrough of the episode because we do want to avoid spoilers.
Yeah, okay.
And I want to avoid spoilers too.
Yeah.
Because I may not go through with a completed character for Tribble because I do want to one in its proper.
When it goes live, yes.
Well, see, one thing I learned from playtesting Legacy of Romulus on Tribble is that I remember the existence of things that people who didn't playtest on Tribble will never know existed.
Usually it's, but it usually doesn't have much narrative significance, though, to the actual episode.
Narrative significance, no. But things that were interesting to look at, yes. And things that I don't understand why the devs nixed from the game, also yes.
It's interesting. There's a lot of star systems clustered around where the wormhole is.
Probably because that's where, that makes most sense for, DS9's focus.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Got the Karma, you got the Dosai system, you got the Wadi. Please tell us we're not going to be forced to play that annoying game.
Move along home. Oh god. Them having to do like the Alamaray jumping thing.
There you go.
But like
I have honestly wanted to see someone make a Foundry mission version of that. It just looks like it would be a lot of fun.
I mean, we'll get Foundry Door, so if the Wadi homeworld's in here, the Wadi system,
you could make it fun. Just that episode was stupid.
Oh, you know what? Okay, you know who should totally do a Wadi mission? Johnny Snowball.
There you go.
Because he does some of these elaborate puzzle builds for sort of this is something he did for his his prisoner mission, where you're working through a set of alien ruins with a set of puzzles, and that's just dress that up and hey, you got a Wadi thing.
Okay, I just got asked to do something in the tutorial that I've never seen the tutorial ask me to do before, and it's awesome. And I'm not going to tell you what it is because you don't want to know.
Yes.
Okay. Got to reform the team here. We could queue for the swarm. Now you can see a picture of some of the art for the, what do you call it? The Jem'hadar, the Gamma Reputation armor. If you click on the Gamma Reputation in your menu.
If you go to Drozana, actually, I'm going to go to Drozana. But yeah, I really like that Reputation armor. Because it is basically, you're just one of the new ships. And I like that look. I really like that. I mean, that's, for me, where I kind of get the most excitement out of a new faction like this. It's like, okay, well, we got the stuff in the show. Where can you go next? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I do like that. Cryptic's done that, at least with the costumes in the ships, if not the actual species. But, actually, here. I'm going to go actually hang out over on Drozana, because...
I have no idea when or if this queue will pop, because there's three of us. There might not be two more queued.
So Drogon, because the art for the icon for your ship isn't in yet, it just shows a square, and it looks like you're flying a Borg cube.
Yep.
Playable Borg cube confirmed.
Oh, I was going to say that. I have to say, I just found a ground scale version of something that I don't remember ever seeing before, and it's cool.
So
and I hope we get it in the Foundry because,
looks like you can go directly from the Gamma Quadrant to the Deep Space Nine space map.
That's pretty good.
Essentially through the wormhole. I'm making air quotes with my hands that you guys can't see.
Drozana Station. I'm also going to level up.
We're going to head that way so we can... Only problem is it takes a sec to run through all the levels of the reputation. Unless they just hand you the gear.
Sometimes they do. I was actually going to go for the level, so actual leveling, because there's also that too, since this character is just 60.
Yeah, let's see. The level... did they increase? Yes, they have increased the level cap, because I've got XP beyond 60, so...
Of course. That's. Oh, you're talking about whether or not they'd actually implemented that aspect of the expansion yet.
Yeah, that was part of an earlier Tribble update.
One thing that they did reveal this past week is that they have made new models and new textures for the two of the existing Jem'hadar ships, the Bug Ship and the Dreadnought.
Yes.
And they look very nice.
Oh, there goes the Vega system. Is that thing still assimilated?
Yes.
Yep. We'll get to it eventually.
Only a lot.
I mean, it's a lot easier to imagine now that eventually we'll get to it with a Borg cooperative mini faction like the Jem'hadar faction.
I want the retaking of Vega to be the new Borg ground zone. Like them to redo what's currently the Kobali ground zone, and redo it as a retaking of Vega.
Defera.
Sorry, the Defera ground zone, not Kobali. Defera.
Kobali's good. Don't touch Kobali.
Here's the thing, though, is that the current Vega map, do we have that in the Foundry? Because that thing is just wow.
Not the new one. We've got the original Vega colony in the Foundry.
Nothing from the revamped Fed tutorial we have access to in the Foundry, and that includes the new Federation hallways.
Oh, I may regret this. Oh, I
dug into that once, and the map is really complicated. It's like they squish a ton of scenes into the same map.
Well, see, the old the STF version of the Vega map with all of the buildings and stuff on it, or I mean like the old tutorial version of the Vega map with the buildings on it, that one you can in theory recreate that. It's just it ain't easy to recreate at all.
Yeah. So for some reason, Jem'hadar characters are apparently recognized as like Starfleet cadets or something like that, so you can't actually leave Federation space.
Oh no!
So I can't take this character.
So that's an aspect of the bug that made so you can't leave Starfleet Academy.
Very likely.
On Romulan Republic characters for testing purposes, I have discovered that you can bypass that by using a transwarp ability. You can transwarp to a location outside of your box that you're confined to.
Well, unfortunately, I only have Defera and Sol.
So to anyone that doesn't know, there's a special console on Tribble that basically allows you to test everything that costs anything really easily. So
can you scroll through the episode list and choose a mission like, say, Night of the Comet, for example, and use the mission transwarp to the mission start point?
You'd probably need
unfortunately, there are no missions currently available for Jem'hadar except for the second story mission, which I had not done yet.
That's unfortunate.
It's possible you might need to complete that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so you might just need to switch over to
or it's just now. Stuff isn't implemented.
Whoever made this ground map named... Oh, yeah, that's a really boring ground map name. And the name is so boring that I could tell you the name and it wouldn't be a spoiler because it's just that boring.
There appears to be no queue to play on Tribble right at the moment. There was a queue earlier.
Yeah, anyway, so I found a bug in the tutorial where I'm supposed to kill this group of guys that jumped down into this chasm, and now I can't kill them because they're in the bottom of a chasm.
Starfare Theta says you could base a Foundry mission on that. The player's Jem'hadar is living a nightmare where they're seen as a Starfleet cadet by everyone.
Oh, it sounds like a variation of that thing someone proposed with Ocampa, where since Ocampa are technically only like 2 or 3 years old, people treat them like children even though they're adults.
Horient also says he has a Vega quarantine patrol mission in the Foundry called Poison in the Heart. So give it a play.
That sounds like fun.
He actually asked us that we'd put a shout out because it is stuck in the review and needs 2 more plays.
Yes, that does sound like something worth examining in closer detail later.
And that is Poison of the Heart. And it's under the review tab. Unless it's gotten out of the review tab by the time you listen to this episode.
Poison of the Heart, that sounds like what happens when you watch too many Enterprise episodes and don't skip the theme.
Oh, the theme didn't bug me.
Apparently it bugged the composers.
Really?
For
wow.
Star Trek. There's a neat interview that just got posted with 4 of the composers for Star Trek, including several from the TNG, Voyager, DS9 era, and the new guy who's doing Discovery. So it's well worth a read.
That sounds almost like the sort of thing where they were annoyed that something other than purpose written music was used because,
Well, yeah, and because they wanted to write it was part of it. They wanted to write the theme. But it was more on the studio end of things that they wanted to use an actual song.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it makes sense. I mean,
yeah, I kind of
it
like
fits.
that.
It's just not my favorite kind of music.
Yeah, like it's one of the things where like I'm in the same boat. Not my favorite kind of music, but at the same time, it's I can't imagine Enterprise sets anything else.
It's like, the very first time it came on, I was like, oh my god, this is the kind of music my mom listens to in the car.
I kind of had a little bit more of a reaction to the Discovery theme, where it's just kind of like, okay, it works, but it didn't really grab me that much.
That was one that it didn't grab me at first, but it kept on growing on me until I could actually, hum it without, just in the middle of the day, randomly.
Yeah. Because then it's just, it becomes what you associate with Discovery, so it becomes emblematic. Let's see. I'm just upgrading my gear because I can.
I'll be honest. I can't think of any series of all of the various Star Trek things. The one that I liked least or the theme music for least was in fact Star Trek Enterprise. And I didn't really even hate that one. It's just liked least,
Personally, I think Voyager has some of the best.
Oh, I love the Voyager theme.
Hmm.
And I think Voyager is my favorite title sequence.
Yeah, it was a good title sequence. Although there was this one YouTube video that basically did the calculations on the perspective of the planet with the asteroid ring, or the ring that it flies over where you can see the reflection, and proved that it was like this insanely tiny planet because of the the perspective was all wrong for it.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Oh, here's another fun Tribble bug for you. One of the Tribble map builds for the Karaya system had the Karaya planet both in the skybox and in the actual map objects you could fly up to. So if you pointed the camera in the right direction, you would actually see 2 of Karaya simultaneously.
Unfortunately, no new hairstyles to report on Tribble for for Romulans. Always something to look for. Just miscellaneous sort of backdoor additions. Yeah. I'm kind of expecting something maybe from Cardassians, but it looks like their new.
I don't know if they might remain unique.
Yeah.
They have gotten some art passes since we looked at them. There's a gal over here who's Cardassian, and I think the ears blend a bit better. I think all of the hairstyles are now hooked up for them.
Mm-hmm.
And properly textured. So they look quite a bit better than last time we looked at them.
Digging the Andorian wearing the hood.
Yeah. With the antenna sticking up, that's pretty funny. So where do you get that piece?
Zambian.
The hood is one of the...
It's Zambian.
Zambian. Oh, yeah, okay.
Store.
Yeah, it's really interesting seeing all those strange things people can come up with when they take costume parts and recombine them.
I'm practically Foundry authors.
Yeah. So I'm standing right next to you, Dragoon, and I'm wearing the new armor. Pretty much look like a Cylon.
Yep.
By your command. Yeah, I'm slowly working through.
But I do like it.
I'm almost up to tier 4.
You can just buy this. You can just buy the pieces.
Okay, I didn't know if you had to get the unlock project.
There's some various Polaron things that are probably the ones that you get out of the boxes as you're leveling up the rep.
Yep.
See what those look like.
I'm gonna head over to just go Soul System.
Oh, cool! When Jem'hadar players use a burst turret fabrication kit module, it actually creates a Polaron turret.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And also, when Jem'hadar players use a Chronoton mine, the mines actually float in midair. They're the Jem'hadar floating mines.
Oh man,
Ooh.
I was planning on TAC for my Jem'hadar, but that makes engineering very tempting.
Yes.
Also the Seeker drone, it's the one with the spinning blade on it.
Houdini mines, that's what they called them.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, that's altogether that's a pretty good thing for engineering, especially with the fact that the ships are.
Oh, okay. And what you can get from the rep store or the rep projects for a kit module is that same floating mines but cloaked. So it's a cloaked mine barrier.
I can't imagine that their intention is to have the simple shirt and tight pants for the base.
If you go to the requisite,
that may not be finished there.
If you go to ship requisitions, you can see the new ships. The Cardassians one will be those will appear for the Fed, or if you're just any other faction but Dominion. But then if you're Dominion, you should be able to see the new one, new shiny. Now I'm looking right now just to see what might be available for players if they've hooked up the requisition token yet.
Oh, that was Primer running past it as a Cardassian.
Aww.
Let's see. So let's see. Nope.
Right.
Nope.
I got to see how this new Jem'hadar shield looks on my Constitution class.
There we go. Okay, so I'm looking right now at the tier 5 or the. Okay, so that's what they did.
Oh.
Okay.
Theta suggested creating a social device that has Houdini mines filled with confetti.
So for the tier 6 or the not tier 6, the tier 5 U ships that you can pick up for getting to level 61, For the Romulans, it is the fleet versions, or the fleet retrofit versions of the Diderdex, the Mogai, the Dalan, and the Tavaro.
Cool.
So, yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty nifty. So yeah, that's basically for anyone who's got a sea store ship. That basically means, hey, a free Admiralty card. But, yeah, I mean that allows you to basically go with the Diderdex if it's like, well, I need a warbird with a little bit more engineering. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I can check KDF. Which I will do.
Actually, I don't
Why
think
did all of my kit modules unslot themselves?
Jem'hadar shield doesn't look too bad on the Vorgon cruiser. But honestly, kind of everything looks good on the Vorgon cruiser.
Yeah.
I don't think I would keep it for this Constitution class.
It's very orange and purple.
Yeah.
Though I'm not 100% sure. It might just be the lighting in this map.
Oh, the orange, yeah, it's going to be more purple. But yeah, it's going to be very orange with that map in particular. Yeah, I'm going to say on the Constitution class, it's not the best fit because we kind of all know what that should look like.
Yeah. And it shouldn't look like this.
No.
Hey, I was going to head over towards K7 anyways. I'll go.
Yeah, K7 has nice lighting.
K7 has orange lighting. I was just there. I should know. Yeah, I changed characters.
So I will say with the stuff coming, I did ask Kael directly if around the time of Victory's Life and we get the Foundry back, if we could get Jem'hadar as customizable characters in the Tailor. Because I think that would really help us with creating characters for Victory's Life.
Yeah, making interesting characters for Jem'hadar for Foundry missions, absolutely.
Yeah, that said, I mean, if they automatically update, then at least we got that fallback, and we've got a little bit to play with. But yeah, the customization, I think, would be... that's a vital for mission I've got coming up, but I think it would be generally helpful.
Yeah, the lighting interaction with K7 makes it very different.
Let's see. Okay, so I was checking.
Yeah, I think we're all just really white now. I thought that isn't pretty too.
Yeah, I got to find where. That's repair ship. Oh, where does they put? Oh, okay, here's requisition. I'm on Kronos right now, trying to figure out like, where's the new ship stuff? Okay,
Cloaked mine barrier. Yeah, those are fun.
Oh, wait a minute. Dang it all, I've got to level up.
Oh, so the new stuff is... Oh, wait, never mind. Spoilery stuff. Let's not bother with spoilery stuff.
No spoiler stuff.
But yes, there is a new Polaron with the rep that is new Polaron.
Oh, okay. Finally some normal light. This is what it looks like in normal light. Yeah, it's more of like a warm gray.
Yeah. So basically, a lot of the visuals from the new ships. But yeah, I think that's definitely a big, let's just say, quality improvement upgrade from the current Jem'hadar shield.
That shield, it only looks good on, like one ship out of 20.
Yeah. This is like
very occasionally you will find a ship on which that looks good, but
Gamma synergistic resilient shield array.
Drogan, you want to test something real quick?
Why, yes. Yes, I do.
I don't know. Do you want to go back to Drazana and pick up the experience bundle?
Experience bundle, huh?
Boom.
There's Primar demonstrating the Jem'hadar shield on a Manticore. There it goes.
I was going to experience point bundle. Yay.
So, I mean, I'm thinking if you do the experience point bundle and level up, you can come over to and find out what ships the Feds get as the free T5Us.
Okay.
Oh, well, I'm not a Fed, I'm a Romulan.
I am on my Feds, so.
Now I'm going to find out what that space shield looks like on a ALOL.
Oh, dang it! I should have picked up the space shield so I can see on a lithium pilot escort what you could do with it.
I'm sure at some point someone will go through a ton of ships and post screenshots on Reddit.
What was it, like Stow on Refine that used to do like every time a ship came out would show off what all the shield visuals look like on it?
I actually did take the Discovery
Zeph Films
Vanity
does that
Shield and make a few videos of what that looked like. Also, did you look at the deflector visual effect? That is very purple.
Yes, it is.
It's all pretty purple.
Oh, okay. This is neat. Okay, so Klingon. Right now, I've got two choices. I'm still going to go through the list to make sure what this is working right. Burrell, Bird of Prey, and the Karfi Battle Carrier. So the
Karfi is not something new,
but it's interesting that it's a C-store ship.
But you already have the ability to get it. You buy it with a token.
Well, yes, but yeah, it's now something you can get generally accessible through leveling, as opposed to I mean, there's no other Fecleary ship that's available.
Oh.
How do we?
Oh, right. It's a different token. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah.
What am I looking for here?
You're looking for an experience point bundle. It's in one of the submenus.
No, that I've already gotten. I'm level 65 now.
Okay, so
now we're going to the ship tailor at K7.
Yeah, so just go
I'm at the shipyard.
Shipyard. So you need to be able to pick up new ships.
This engine.
So you go to Lieutenant General, and then you look at what are the first options, and then in the lower right, you should see the icon to pick those up.
So in that case, this would be Rear Admiral? Or Vice Admiral?
Vice Admiral.
Vice Admiral. Okay, Exploration Cruiser Retrofit.
Okay.
That's the only one I see.
So just the Galaxy?
Just the Galaxy, and then you scroll over, and then... Or are you using any filters?
No, at the moment. I am not.
Oh, you want to show your screen?
Oh, okay. Actually, hold on. There are other options, too. I'm going to the big list. So, okay.
Let's... Drogon, why don't you share your screen? We can look at the Fed options, then we'll turn around and look at the KDF options.
Okay, I'm just going to all ranks, and I'm just scrolling to that point in the list.
1 second.
So yeah, think 3, 4. Yeah, just before shuttles. There we go.
Okay, sharing. So you're saying all ranks?
Yeah, just go to all ranks and then scroll to the point just before you get to shuttles. So, like, you just go through the normal leveling ships and then just keep going until you go after all the standard tier 5 ships. Just after them is the new available options.
Including fleet after that?
Well, again, I can't quite say for sure because I'm not looking at Fed right now. But all I did was just scroll past the standard tier 5, and then you get a bunch of retrofits. Those are the new ones. And then in the lower right for each one of those new ones, you've got the token, price, 1, Roman numeral for 5. And then once you go after that for Klingons, yeah, I've got a few C-store ships, and then I got shuttles. Yeah, when I went to Lieutenant General, some of these didn't show up, so that's why I said all ranks. Because then you're sure to see all available options. So if you want, I've got the KDF ships here. I can go ahead and share that screen.
Yeah. Talk us through that. I will stop sharing my screen.
Okay, so I'm on right now. So here's the tier 5 ships. So you got the Negvar, you've got the
Are All right, I'm not seeing your guys. Oh, hang on. There we go. Okay.
All right. So we've got the Negvar, we've got a Vorcha refit. Wait a minute. Was Vorcha a standard tier 5 ship for the Klingons?
Yes.
Okay. For a retrofit.
It's the freebie bucket of bolts that's not a Z-Store ship, but it's tier 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. So, yeah. Okay, so there we go. So now, just after the standard tier 5 ships, I've got the near tier 5U ships that you get from leveling. They're mixed in with a few C-Store ships here at the very end, but you've got the Varanus science vessel. You've got the Marauder flight deck carrier, Bird of Prey, and then a Carthy carrier. So you got 2 carriers, a science vessel and a Bird of Prey. This might not be finalized. But yeah, that's what the Klingon ships can get right now on Tribble.
And what I have found so far is Galaxy and a Defiant and an Intrepid.
Okay, that makes sense.
So kind of the big 3.
Oh, I did notice that one thing that seems to have gone live in this build is the ability to fly allied T5 ships for Romulans. Because I'm scrolling through the list and I'm like, wait, these are tier 5 ships.
Yeah, that went live in the update before last, and that was when we actually first heard about that, was when that showed up on Tribble, and then we got the blog announcement. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting, because that does open up a lot of options for Romulans for their Starship Mastery, as well as their just
Admiralty.
Also Admiralty. That's, that's kind of big for them. But yeah, I mean, it's just giving them a lot more options, at least as far as like as people have ad hoc picked up ships, because they could already get the Starship traits for allied or just other ships that they didn't have access to.
I can actually fly a Dakir on my Romulan now. I don't want to. Oh well.
Yeah, I haven't been to DS9 before, so I'm just wandering around there right now.
I don't really plan to fly any non-Romulan ships on my Romulans other than maybe, random alien ships, but...
I already got the one that, for me, is already kind of the most fun thematically, and that's an Ambassador class. It's like, we kept it.
Well, I mean, on live, Soheth flies Suliban ships a lot.
Well, me, I like, if a new alien ship comes out, I like to make a crew for it. If there's especially if there's like a full costume, so you can really RP, like the Sona had a full costume. You could at least get the faces sort of looking okay, like they're sort of healed up Sona, rather than face stretchy Sona.
Well, don't the healed up Sona basically look like Baku?
Basically,
Which look exactly like humans.
yeah, one of those classic TOS style alien races. And TNG did a lot of that too. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much the stuff on Tribble at the moment. Obviously,
wait, what
will work eventually.
It's actually giving me the option.
Hold on. Don't narrate the mission.
I'm scrolling through the ship list at K7.
Ah, there we go.
It's actually giving me the option to purchase a Fleet Chimera as a Romulan.
That's interesting, because I thought that was one of the ones that were not going to be included, because the Romulans have their own
this is
version.
the Fleet Chimera, not the regular Chimera.
So you can't get the regular Chimera with the token, but you could get a fleet version.
Well, I'm thinking that they're... Wait a minute. Hold on. What the hell? Okay, I'm on... Here, I got to share screens on this one. Because it sounds like for Mark's problem, it's one of those things where Cryptic hasn't really set the... set up the permissions quite right. So they've maybe allowed Romulans to purchase more than they should. But here's what I've seeing right now on DS9. Shouldn't there be more of a wall here? Because I've got 2 doorways.
I think it's like a storefront where there's a grate that comes down.
Okay. So
That's basically just like the top floor entrance to Quark's.
yeah, I'm just wondering if there's it kind of seems right, but then there's like discrete doorways. So I'm just wondering if that's actually how it was on the show.
Yeah. So
I think so,
as far as I
yeah.
know,
Yeah,
what probably happens is like two like sliding doors come down, or like grades come down, and then the two doors provide access in case you want a narrower access.
There we go. Okie dokie. Because that seemed like, wait a minute, is that work in progress? Because I didn't remember anyone commenting on that one.
Yeah, it's one of those things I looked at. It's like, I don't entirely remember how this looked on the show, but it doesn't look obviously wrong.
For me, it didn't quite look right because it's the two door frames next to an open space. I'm like, wait a minute, architect in me is like, wait, what? But no, I do like. Yeah, I'm just wandering around Quarks now. But yeah, I do think they did a great job with the lighting, especially around the stairwells where you get the lighting through the grating, and that's just a really nice effect and stuff.
I'm still trying to figure out exactly which of these things are things that you would have otherwise had access to. I don't remember which is which.
So you're looking for Romulans right now?
Yeah, because there's just a bewilderingly long list of ships to stare at.
Yeah. It's not well organized, and we haven't really gotten official.
I think it would have been better. It was better organized when it was just Fed or just Romulan stuff you were looking at.
Well, for the Romulans, one easy search is to filter by warbird.
I mean, yeah, if you just want to look at that. But I'm wanting to see which Fed options they now get.
Yeah, it should be most of the, I think all the C-Store ships. I think there are exceptions when it comes to some of the Lobby and Lockbox.
So my understanding is that ships that have Romulan equivalents are not shared. So I don't think the veteran ship should be shared because there's Romulan equivalent to that exact same ship.
But, you know, cross-faction ship packs, you do have the ability to use the Federation one, which is interesting because I can use a Sutherland or a Leosa, even though the Leosa is the Romulan version of the Sutherland.
Yeah, and that's fitting with the Jem'hadar ship access. So it's basically anything that you could expect to use as a Jem'hadar character. So like the notable exception for me that it kind of sticks in the mind from the patch notes was the NX class. That's not available for Romulans.
I believe there's something like the command cruiser pack isn't available for Romulans.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take another look.
No, I'm pretty sure I just scrolled past the command cruiser pack.
Yeah, so
I'm staring at the Tellarite Praelim. I could fly a Tellarite Praelim.
Yeah, so I think it's something like the real special ships they might not have access to if there's a Romulan equivalent. So
my vaguest recollection is that if it's only for like Lobi or Lockbox ships that are faction specific.
Yeah,
because just those.
Yeah, let's see, because I've got the Miracle Worker ships, the pilot ships.
Yep, here it is. Operations Miracle Worker Cruiser.
Yeah, Tellarite, Ferocin, Multi-Mission, Sovereign. 31st century. Oh, that's actually going to be an interesting choice. The
31st century ships have always been cross-faction.
Well, no, the 26th century ones.
Oh, okay.
Because those ones, it's just like, actually, you might be able to say that the Republic's joined the Federation at that point, so that would be interesting for a character point of view.
I don't know that we've got confirmation that they actually just joined at that point. I think we figured they had by the 27th century.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, we just haven't got that much detail, so you can at least, write in a Worf type story.
Now, looking at these Day One pilot escorts, I wonder if that weird cone shape on the back is what they have instead of a warp drive.
Imagine that's probably the idea.
So like an array of warp thingies instead of just one or two engines. Oh, hello. I found something spoilery. And it's Cardassian.
Oh yeah,
yes.
I already mentioned those guys. Well, we already know these ships are coming out. There's been.
Oh yeah, but we didn't have the complete ship stats.
Oh yeah.
Well, those have all been posted on Reddit now, so if folks want to go through all that, it is available now. Obviously, subject to change.
Yeah. Oh, just out of curiosity, what are the Jem'hadar ships? Those are visible, right? If you're a Jem'hadar character for the C-Store ones.
Yes.
So, assuming you can finish their tutorial thingy, that is.
Yeah.
Now, actually, one thing that isn't spoilery, I'll tell you, is it does give you the option to change your ship in that first mission. So if you have one of these, the big Jem'hadar Vanguard ships or something else, you will have the option to play it like right from the get-go.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. What I was wondering on those guys, what specialization do they have?
I believe they kind of run the gamut. Let me
see. The Cardassian ships have very, very limited, boring specialization options.
Because it's just all in.
Those are all Intel.
Intel, and more. Thing is, though, is that they're full-fledged Intel. They're not like demi-Intel ships. No, these go like all the way on the Intel.
Yeah.
So they got all the Intel powers and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Intel Science Dreadnought, Commander Science / Intel.
I know, like the flight deck carrier is a full 5.3, or the flight deck cruiser. But here, let's see if we can use cannons, because that would be a step up over the other ones. I don't think so. Nope, it's not listed.
Oh, it comes with Cardassian frigates. Yukawa? Okay.
I think I probably have to go to Deep Space Nine to get a ship tailor. Or these guys, because I can't enter the Sol system.
Oh, you can't answer it?
It's not giving me the option.
I'm at K7.
Well, you probably can't fly there because he's stuck in the limited boundaries of a Fed player who is still completing the tutorial.
I'm sure they will update it.
If you transwarp to Defera...
I went to Defera, yeah.
Okay, now fly as far south as you can, then jump to the Beta Quadrant. That might put you outside the barrier.
Well, I'm just going to go to Deep Space Nine.
Well, it might transport him back, so yeah, just go to DS9.
Yes, because that's one of those things where I don't remember the southern limit of the barrier for Federation players. Because the Romulan one's easy to remember. It's that, 3-block thing that's centered around New Romulus. But Federation is like, I think it's a 2x3 box that starts at Sol and then goes south 3. If I remember right, the galaxy map on... Yeah. Let's see. Oh, you're right. It doesn't go far enough south. You might be able to go north around it, believe it or not. So fly north to Saria, and then fly east. It'll put you near Nimbus. And then if you fly south, you could go to Starbase 39 Sierra, which is actually outside the box as far as I know. I know. It's the closest Starbase.
I'm sure they're going to fix this.
Okay.
At some point.
So are you at...
I am at Deep Space Nine, and I'm going to run all the way around the ring 3 times until I find what I'm looking for.
I'm looking at the alien tailor right now to see if we've got anything new.
Acquire ships. Okay. 2 6.
Do you want to show us?
No.
Okay. All right, so the carrier is... let's see. It has a Lieutenant Commander Science Intel seat. The Dreadnought has a Lieutenant Commander Engineering Command seat. The Vanguard warship has a Lieutenant Commander Tactical Miracle Worker station.
Now the warship, is that the wait, which one is that?
The warship is a 5/3.
Okay.
Base turn rate of 12, device slots 3.
Is it the escort with the two-prongy things?
Yes.
Oh, awesome! Because that's the one I was hoping for, and I was hoping they had Miracle Worker.
Probably the best looking one in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just aesthetically.
Yeah, like it just has a very interesting profile, and it does work really well with the new aesthetics. Oh, wait a minute! Right, someone did something interesting with a Jem'hadar.
Okay, and hang on, the Heavy Raider. Just to finish this off, the Heavy Raider has a Lieutenant Commander Universal Pilot station.
Okay. Now that's pretty interesting though that they did that sort of the full mix, and then they sort of kept it a little bit light with the specialization mechanics. But yeah, I think that's a pretty interesting take on the Jem'hadar. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I was just going to comment. Someone did something interesting with the Jem'hadar. The face still looked, pretty standard, but they maximized the head settings and then minimized the body, so it looked like a very small Jem'hadar child. Yeah. So yeah, so that kind of runs out the news from the game. Did we want to talk about the bigger announcement with the Foundry that happened this week? With who's running the Foundry now?
So Maria Rossea, who has been a producer on Stove for many years and started off in QA, and really was a big proponent of the Foundry, is being moved over to the Magic the Gathering team.
Yeah, it has a lot of feels to it, because for her it's new team, new group, new setting, and for us it's now we're entering a new period of the Foundry where Ambassador Kael is going to be our primary contact. So he'll be doing most of the direct managing for Foundry stuffs, while Zero is fully dedicated to Magic. I'm sure if there's a complete disaster type emergency and they need her to, teach him how to do something, she can, be advised, but definitely
we've been told that the teams do talk to each other. Yeah,
so the teams will talk to each other, but at the same time, Zero is no longer the person.
She's no longer our Foundry person.
No, but I mean, she's still our Foundry person for.
Well, I mean, she's still just an awesome person, regardless. So
she is one of the founding luminaries of the Foundry. Mm-hmm. I mean, for setting it up as it is, as it's been supported.
Hello.
And we can't say enough stuff for how much she's done for us and the community and for Star Trek.
How much we appreciate her.
As a gift for her, I made a Magic the Gathering Planeswalker version of the Epo Girl from the Q's Winter Wonderland.
Yeah, I'm planning on, for me, Magic the Gathering is that MMOs. I'm probably going to be moving over to it to a limited extent, if not a full extent. So, and especially if that has a Foundry, I am so in for that one. So, I mean, it's not like we're sort of moving away. It's just we're sort of moving blocks. So it's one of those things where it's going to be a change. And definitely, tweet Zero as much, support and love as you can, because she has definitely been there for us through all the stuff we've gone through with the Foundry.
Yeah.
And so now, for any suggestion, tweet Ambassador Kael as much as you can. Help break him into the new role. For Foundry requests.
Yeah, help introduce him to our craziness.
Especially now with Victory's Life. I mean, I'm sure Cryptic is just coasting at this point. They're not working on anything major. He's got lots of time to spend just reading tweets.
Is this hazing? Are we doing the hazing thing?
Slightly.
100%.
But
it's not hazing. It's helping them learn their new job.
It's breaking in the new boy. Oh God! So
if we scare him off.
But seriously, they are working on stuff right now. So we can't really expect the Foundry to be going through too much stuff. They're going to be working on this, and definitely there's more than one dev supporting this. So Tiffany Cho has been hooking up Foundry doors. Taco has been doing ship stuff and has been hooking up Foundry doors. So the team is still very supportive of the Foundry. We're just losing our matron saint Foundry. But and I will still, throw
we wish her all the best and everything. So we hope that this new team works out and does good things.
I think we should still build, just build something for her as a going away present. So build some kind of zero monument. So maybe is build topic for a future show.
There you go.
Oh, well, I did find something that's interesting. I finally managed to complete the first map in the tutorial, and this ship interior area, there's actually an NPC you can talk to look at the list of C-store ships for the Jem'hadar.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So you can actually fly your ship pretty much from almost the first bit. One thing I just noticed, there's been a significant update to the Jumja stick stand on Deep Space Nine. He's got many out for display, as if any of them are different from each other. It's just a glob on a stick.
Oh yeah, the Jumja stand. I was going to comment on that they actually put a lot of work into making the Jumja stand. Yeah, I mean
exactly.
I mean that's pretty unmistakable, but pretty awesome. I mean, just to have that as a thing
pretty
there.
Much.
Of course, so that's the one thing I was going to say though for the Jumja sticks. I don't know if that stand is a Foundry prop. I don't know.
We wanted all the things.
I want it. It's just it's funny. It's just we could just do
it's
lots
not making
of
me want a Jumja stick. That's for sure.
I know, but I'm just thinking of just how to use it. You could do an evil laboratory setting, and have those as experimental devices.
Or I've removed all the organs from your main character. If you want them back, you have to fight my minions.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty nifty. I mean that they added that in there.
The problem I keep having it is that I can never finish one. Just so big.
Never wanted to start.
Oh, wait, Zazart's still here.
Nah, they wouldn't move Zadret.
I was just wondering if they were gonna update him a little bit, for as the builds get a little bit closer, because I don't know if they'll have the stupid sexy me line playing.
They are absolutely going to keep the stupid sexy me line.
Ah, yes.
No, they would not put that in there and then rip it away.
Fun if they didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you know this about it. The not only is this the character that was mentioned on Shielded Tomorrow, so the GM's account hasn't. This is actually taken from his account, his original Zazar character.
Okay. Yes. Okay. That's pretty neat. I didn't know it was actually authentic with the character model.
Eric, the GM on that, actually created a Zazar character way back in the day, and then based it on it for the Shielded Tomorrow. And so this is a copy of that character from his account.
Oh, you asked earlier, Mark. No, the Admiral is not still taking a spacewalk.
Oh, is he inside where you can talk to him?
I haven't seen him anywhere, but he's not outside. But anyway, obviously that's the current state of Tribble. I'm betting there'll be a few more iterations before everything goes live in June sometime.
Yep. And as far as Foundry stuff goes, I mean, getting the ships in first is probably the
that's likely to happen first.
Yeah, and then Kael is working on the DS9 ground map, and we'll see about getting the Jem'hadar as a customizable option in there as well. But you may also expect...
I will caution authors, if we do get this DS9 ground map, don't do a ton of combat in it.
Yeah, because they tested
a little cramped.
Yeah, and they tested that and found it didn't work so well. So I mean, there's other ways to. You can. I
mean, there's a couple of areas where you can probably. There's some areas where you could probably do some, but.
Yeah, but it's definitely going to be a.
The upper level is very narrow.
Yeah, and then I was also going to say though for the any Foundry stuff, Jem'hadar NPCs that are just part of the default contact list, those may also be automatically updated.
Possibly, yeah.
Because we've had that happen with all the other factions.
I will say, I love the changes to Deep Space Nine, and I'm hoping it's not too long before they can redo the ops, because it's feeling pretty sorry now by contrast.
I'm gonna get turbo lift to ops just to get a good appreciation of that. Oh, I didn't think it would be that bad, but
We didn't notice it until we had something to compare it to.
it's like the consoles. Like it's like, oh my god, like the polygon count has just gone, and they used to have like the shiny metal all over the place. Oh wow. I mean, my eyes are having trouble focusing. I'm gonna go into Cisco's quarters. Oh god, there's still not too many polygons in here comparatively. Where did my fine detail go?
Is his baseball round or square?
It's definitely round, but that was added later. Technically, the baseball was added later.
Square. It's in a square. Well, what is it? Is it a 4-dimensional hypercube?
4, 7, who knows? One of the two, right?
Oh, going back downstairs. I'm hiding in sickbay. They can't find me here. That's actually going to be like, I mean, if you ignore the mini-map, I mean, the ground DS9 map would be great for hide and seek.
I think they said, I mean, they don't think that they'll have time to do it for Victory's Life, but they definitely want to come back to it.
But yeah, that was my point, was just like this stuff eventually we'll hopefully see. But yeah, I'd say the only things you might expect on the day we get the Foundry back or on the day of Victory's Life, depending on if we have downtime, maybe ships, and then default any automatic substitutions of default NPCs.
And doors. We'll probably get Foundry doors.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. The Foundry doors too.
I hate that stupid auto fire thing for weapons. Ugh, it makes lining up torpedo volleys a pain in the.
You should be able to change that in options.
Or just right-click on all of your weapons to make it go away.
I always usually change it to toggle target change cancels. That's my favorite setting. All right, so I think we'll end it there for the evening. Now, we won't have a stream this weekend because it's Memorial Day weekend, but we wanted to go ahead and get one in. And it worked out very nicely that Tribble got unlocked today. So thanks, everyone, for joining us. And Dragoon, if you want to put up our contact info.
All right. We can be reached by email at foundryroundtable@live.com. We are also on Twitter at foundryroundtab. Dragon can be reached at Dragon1701. Duncan can be reached at GorgonUps_SSF. Mark can be reached at Markhawkman. And I, of course, can be reached at Greendragoon.
All right, we will say good night.
Good night.
Good night.